One of the things I noticed a lot recently that no one is talking about is where the game is going to go when it comes to 2025. As most of you should know by now, I 100% believe that dating is a game like many other games out there. As the game progresses and develops, different things work and things change. To give you a small example of this, how come at one point in history, poetry was a way to seduce a woman? Flowers were another way to seduce a woman. If you try to do these things in the upcoming 2025, you'll miserably fail. This is because things develop and change over time. For this video, I want to primarily talk about one concept that I see changing very quickly in 2025. The change I'm talking about is the ever increasing popularity of the traditional conservative type of woman. They're mainly known as tradcons online. The narrative is shifting because of politics and the economy. More and more people are starting to become aware of the different types of games that people are playing online. It should be no surprise to anyone that the dating scene is completely torched. As a result, more and more people are going online to try to get some clarity to what's actually going on. More people are getting on game, and now you're seeing this evolved system where now everybody is playing game. Obviously, I make videos for men, so I want to warn men of the danger of this new tradcon archetype that is now going to be extremely pervasive in 2025. This is the girl that's starting to realize that guys are catching on to the two-faced game that she's been playing for a long time. The girl that's getting security from one guy while getting excitement from another. Guys are starting to catch on to this game in masses. I'm not saying that this type of girl is the majority. And while I can't put an exact percentage to how many girls are playing this game, it's sizable enough that you have to be concerned about it. This type of girl likely dabbled with liberal philosophy in the past, and she's now switching sides because it suits her narrative. Her new narrative, of course, is arbitrarily increasing her value by appealing to morality to make herself look holier than thou. Guys are then going to think, oh, maybe I have a catch. This girl believes in a lot of the things that I believe, all while ignoring her troubled past that puts into question how does she start believing this in the first place. You're starting to see this pop up more and more with all these different types of movements. One great example of this is this movement I'm seeing where girls are talking about dating to marry. They're telling you on the first date that they're dating to marry, but the truth is, all this is just a cheap trick. This is truly no different than the 4B movement where girls are saying, I'm not sleeping with men any longer. Two sides of the same spectrum. I'm going to arbitrarily increase my own leverage to make you think that I'm a catch. If I make you believe that I'm special and that you don't have any leverage, guess what that means? I have all the power in our relationship. The reason why this trick is so much more potent is because it plays on guilt and shame. The message between the lines is this: if you don't commit to me on my terms and my schedule, you're a bad person and you're a little boy. Real men commit right away. The other thing it screams, of course, is this: I have plenty of options, buddy, so if you don't want to commit to me, somebody else will. The problem with this, of course, is that you're playing a lose-lose game. If you do commit right away, you run into problems because you don't really know who she actually is. Obviously, everybody always talks about how guys manipulate to get the girl, they sell a picture that isn't real, and then the girl loses interest. What is never talked about, of course, is how girls do the exact same thing, if not worse. The age-old example, of course, is a girl volunteering information to you, such as her body count. You later find out through some source that that was a lie, and now, of course, it's hard for you to proceed because what you thought and what is two different things. There's so much shame built up around this topic that if you dare say anything about it, it's going to be your fault. I'm not even addressing the body count issue directly. I'm simply saying if you tell someone X and it turns out to be Y, it isn't about the content matter itself. It's about the lie. The fact that you lie to somebody to present yourself in the best light possible, you make someone believe that you're this person when in reality, you're not. Girls are better at this process even than guys are, and they only get a fraction of the shame. This is why I find it so interesting how girls are arbitrarily increasing their own value by saying, I'm dating to marry, as if that's supposed to indicate that the guy has to hurry up. Most of the time when women do this, it's a blatant attempt to control the narrative. If I reference this particular type of strategy back to the 4B movement, you can see how similar these two strategies really are. Both of them try to control a narrative. In both cases, the narrative is, I control access to sex. In both cases, the relationship is only going to happen on my terms. I'm of higher value, therefore I am the prize. They're essentially two strategies that are accomplishing the same thing. One under the guise of degeneracy and the other under the guise of morality. The guise of morality is much more dangerous. In the end of the day, I always talk about the same point. If you're entering into a negotiation and someone's creating arbitrary leverage and you bite the bait, you are not the masculine party in that negotiation. If you don't recognize your own value and you can't objectively see that you bring more to the table than the other party, you are not the dominant in the scenario. This means you have no control or leverage in that relationship, therefore you're not masculine. I really don't want you guys to fall for these types of tricks. Now, of course, I have to address the exceptions. If the girl is moral and she's living by the book, then I do think it's a fair request. For reference, approximately 2 to 5% of women by age 25 are still virgins. I've never been a huge pusher of the body count conversation. The issue I have, of course, if someone's going to try to preach morality to you, then they need to live by said morality. If they don't, how does it make any sense that they get to dictate the terms on the basis of that morality? You either follow it or you don't. This is exactly why I don't preach morality. I'm just trying to give you a perspective of what makes sense. As we're going to 2025, I want to close off on this. I'm not telling you should be scared of relationships and that all girls are going to manipulate you. What I am trying to tell you is that there's a lot of wolves in sheep's clothing and you need to become aware of it to protect yourself. Don't let someone dictate the terms based on self-appropriated value. The moment you do that, you're just a feather in the wind and you don't have any real control over your life. Take your time and be aware because I want you guys to be in the driver's seat. If you like this video, like and subscribe. Don't forget to check the links in the description below.